When I was filming the last video on countertenors, I thought about how cool it would be to actually sit down with a man who sings countertenor and talk to him about the voice. So since I know one, I called him up.
You got a countertenor right here. That's who I am.
The reason why I wanted to talk about countertenors in the first place is because they're just so different from what most people are used to hearing. Soloists such as Daniel Taylor are constantly met with audiences who are totally surprised at what they're hearing.
So it's shocking. It really is. I remember hearing Daniel Taylor in Montreal the first time because he's so amazing. It's off the map. It's so much better than what I was used to as a choral countertenor, which is different. You're always trying as a choral countertenor to fit in. Daniel Taylor and his ilk are the soloists. And even though I knew what was coming, every time it shocks me because he's so fantastic and it's so off the norm and it's so not what we're used to because it's perfect and it's high and it's a man and everything's in place and it just takes your breath away. It's amazing.
But even though it was easy for Ross to admit that the voice was shocking, he really explained that the voice is totally natural despite what some people think.
So people ask, why a countertenor? How come? And what is it? And how did you get there? And I think actually a lot of the world is gypped. I think there are more guys that can sing countertenor than sing countertenor because they simply don't know that this part of a natural vocal range exists for guys. We are programmed to think that that vocal range is for women. It is for women, but it's also for guys.
It was so interesting for me to hear about what it's like to have your voice change as a male adolescent who's a vocalist. These singers have no idea what the future has in store for them.
So I think a lot of the countertenors grew up in a men and boys choir tradition. So they would sing and they'd, get their disciplined rehearsals and learn to be great boy sopranos, and it's fantastic, and you're on top of the world, and then your voice changes. And you just tumble into this despair of what am I going to turn into? You have no idea where your voice is going to go. But because you've spent, in my case, probably 12 years singing with men who sing bass, tenor, and alto, you realize that you have basically 3 options. And I think a lot of people don't have that third option available. When your voice changes, you're either a tenor or a bass. But you can be an alto too, and it just happens. And so some of us were lucky enough to have that option and you fall into it. And then it's just the norm.